Could the United States Marine Corps kill ships with rockets? Maybe, if the F-35 helps. The Marines are considering adding an anti-ship missile to the HIMARS. And it would need targeting data, but the F-35 can deliver. The United States Marine Corps recently proved that an F-35 stealth fighter can pass targeting data to a ground rocket launcher. The test, which took place in Yuma, Arizona, involved a Marine F-35B detecting a metal container on the ground and passing the GPS coordinates via radio data link to one of the Corps-wheeled high-mobility artillery rocket system launcher. Lieutenant General Stephen R. Rutter, the Marines' Deputy Commandant for Aviation, and he told an audience at a think tank in Washington. The HIMARS launcher fired a rocket at the coordinates. We were able to target a particular Connex box.
Alright. I want to start off by saying Kahal me Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai Waha Kadash Rawaka Wabarakatah. I want to start off by saying double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, as well as saying peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Alright, so today's video, you're going to see here a terrible note to China. U.S. Marine arms F-35s with HIMARS to kill ships with rockets. The video is kind of self-explanatory. I'm probably going to play around the a couple minutes of it. You probably already saw it already. But here's the article, the corresponding article on it. Just in case if you didn't understand from the video, it kind of moves kind of quickly. But you see here, the Marine Corps have been experimenting with the rocket precision artillery system known as HIMARS. So it's artillery. It's an artillery system. So pretty much what they did was connect the F-35 fighter jet to a HIMARS system to a rocket shot. So they were pretty much able to, send targeting data to, so they can have a plane and they can be able to grab targeting data and then send it to an artillery and then just attack shit. Okay, so it's pretty much, it's all about send to the shooter. So pretty much when the aircraft landed, they rolled the HIMARS out, fired a total of 4 shots of 2 targets, and then returned to the aircraft and flew back to Fort Campbell. So they'll be able to pull these artillery systems out, grab the data with their planes, and then bounce. All right, so it's going to allow them to have faster attack speed in a way. They'll be able to just come in, boom, 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 shoot, and fly away and get out of. All right, so at the end of the video, which I'm probably not going to play, because when I'm editing, it kind of makes volume issues when I have to edit and increase my voice volume, because my audio is really not the best. All right, and then having to the video, because if I increase my voice, it's going to increase the video as well, and the video is going to become very loud, and I don't really want that. But what they're talking about here is how the U.S. flew to, I believe, Iwo Jima, which is in Japan, and they practiced this, and they did some infiltration simulations, as well as did some just practice with it overall, just practicing Pacific assaults, which is a note to China that the U.S. is getting ready for your ass. All right, so this is Matthew chapter 24, Slovakia, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All right, we're just gonna. Well, actually, I'm gonna go read 6 as well. You shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, so these 2 verses right here, this is directly talking about this, because this right here is a power move, and this is a sign to China. Now we know, of course, that China and the U.S. are of course working together. Now this whole thing is really just one big show created by the shadow government. All right, because we know that these groups, we got Chinese diplomats inside the U.S. Now, remember at the beginning of this so-called pandemic, right? You had these guys. You had Trump and these various guys exposed that we had these Chinese-made apps, right? And what the hell is that? Let me delete that. We had these Chinese-made apps in the App Store. And these Chinese-made apps, of course, because China is a communist country, that these communists have been grabbing user data off of them, and that they actually have it. Okay, but then that thing kind of got swept under the rug. But my point is that all these groups are together, and we still do have Chinese applications and Chinese-run businesses in here that still are using and grabbing our data. All right, that's a fact. Okay, so this whole thing is all a big game. They're all working together. Okay. And he saith unto me the wealth stuff. Yeah, I'm actually gonna skip that. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, he shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Alright. So how are you gonna burn someone with fire? You gotta send nukes and missiles. Alright. And the same way that the US is getting ready for this, they getting missiles and their high mobility artillery rocket system called HIMARS together. Okay, same thing is China doing. All right, and this is all the way from 2018. So these guys already had this stuff already together. Okay, so at the same time, while America is trying to fight these other nations, it's trying to fight Yahushai and trying to fight these other nations, it's also going to be fighting themselves. Okay. And it's not just going to be the 10 horns, the NATO and the EU that are going to attack America. It's also going to be America's enemies. So America's going to be absolutely destroyed and finished. Okay. Hold on. Here's another scripture that I wanted since I'm on the topic of that. There was something with habitation. Let's see here. If I can't find it, then I'm just gonna have to let it go. Yeah. And he cried mightily with a strong voice. Revelation 18 chapter 2. This is after Babylon has fallen. Okay. And he cried mightily. This is the angel. Cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. Is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and held every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. All right. So this so America is going to become the habitation of spirits. America is going to be made into a desert, and there's going to be the habitation of demons and spirits and birds and these various vultures and scavengers. And these scavengers are going to have plenty of meat because there's going to be a bunch of dead bodies there. All right. So we're going to let that go. And then we're going to move one more thing, because in the video, if you haven't seen, they talk about how the missiles weigh. They're actually like 500 pounds, some of them the original ones. But these ones here, these HIMARS rocket launchers, are like 2 tons. All right, and I just wanted to kind of go into this. Revelations chapter 16, verse 21. There fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed Yahweh because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. All right, this plague is talking about these missiles, and it's not just going to be these ground artillery missiles, these ship killer missiles. It's also going to be these ICBMs and nuclear missiles. All right. Well, it's going to mainly be those nuclear missiles, of course. I believe it's called the SAR, and now Russia got a new one called the Poseidon. All right, so the weight of a talent. All right, so a talent of silver about 100 pounds, a talent of gold about 200 pounds. And one like was talking about a talent of silver 100 pounds. So John was seeing this. Also, John was seeing this, but he just couldn't really break it down. He said it about a weight of a talent. All right, now this thing is way more than a talent, but he really means like a really heavy stone. And when you look at these things from afar, and I can kind of see what he's talking about. It does look like a like a big old stone if you're looking at it from a really far distance. And you really saw that if anyone have seen the whole thing with Israel and the Iron Dome. Those missiles were looking like stones flying at each other. Those interceptor missiles are like stones, like flying into each other and exploding in the air. All right, so that's all I got. Just wanted to hit this thing real quick. Terrible note to China: U.S. arms F-35s for HIMARS to kill ships with rockets. All right, so U.S. is getting together. All these other nations are getting together to make war. All right, they're gonna make war with each other. They're gonna make war with the land, and they're just gonna get destroyed. Okay, so that's all I got. Of course, I want to say call halalim Yahweh by Shimi Hawashai Waha Kadash Roka. That's all I got. Shalom. To be continued.